In today's world, governments across the globe are grappling with what they call the problem of disinformation and misinformation. In the era of social media and deepfakes, deception has taken on new dimensions. Lying or presenting falsehoods so convincingly that people want to believe them has never been easier. But let's be clear, the phenomenon of disinformation is not new. It didn't start with the digital age. It worked perfectly well with analog media, and even became a kind of science in the 20th century. Enter Edward Bernays, often called the father of public
Join the
relations.
conversation
In
at Fair
1928,
Observer
Bernays
and
published a
subscribe
book with
to
a
our
telling
YouTube
title,
channel.
Propaganda. He bridged the worlds of marketing and governing. Those who claim to be deeply concerned about disinformation often propose two solutions. The first is the ability to recognize disinformation, to spot it even before it can try to seduce us. They want to nip it in the bud. They are busy developing algorithms designed to do this work for us. They claim to know what disinformation is and want to protect us from experiencing it. They seek to impose their algorithms on all forms of media, including social media. The second solution, which is often discussed more cautiously, is critical thinking. But here, we encounter a terrifying paradox. In a world where propaganda, advertising, and assertiveness are seen as markers of success, cultivating critical thinking could be deemed subversive. Just as some argue that addressing climate change might damage the economy, practicing critical thinking could undermine a culture built on the supposed virtue of disingenuous promotion. Disinformation has become not just a way of life, but a kind of addiction. And like any addiction, we fear the consequences of kicking the habit. So if any of us are truly committed to critical thinking, we must be vigilant when we hear about algorithmic solutions to disinformation. As critical thinkers, we should consider that these solutions might themselves be another form of disinformation in disguise. As often as not, they tend to resemble censorship. Understanding what it means to think critically is difficult for anyone born into a culture that gives more honors to what could be called promotional thinking. But thinking critically is not about criticism, it's about putting anything we see or hear in some kind of perspective. Critical thinkers seek to understand why any truth and any lie can be seen and interpreted from multiple perspectives. Propaganda, on the other hand, seeks to radically limit the number of visible perspectives and ideally reduce them to a single point of view. It relies on obsessive repetition of accepted ideas and censorship of everything else. In doing so, it leads an assault against the very idea of perspective. So let's for once try to rise to the challenge of understanding and deploying true critical thinking. Let's strive to comprehend what it means to live and thrive in an environment rich with a wide diversity of perspectives. This means a serious break with some obvious traditions. Our educational systems have preferred to stress packaged knowledge and standardized thinking. Our commercial media have demonstrated a total commitment to it. Change will never be easy. Vested interests must be challenged. Habits must evolve. And yet, with the growing crisis increasingly evident in our news cycles, we may have no other choice. This is a theme with multiple dimensions we hope to continue exploring in greater depth in future videos.
Join the conversation at Fair Observer and subscribe to our YouTube channel.